Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video here with the Duke himself. Those of you that know your Audis, you're probably cringing a bit at this video. If you saw the last Audi video that I did, you're probably like, Dukes, take a break from Audis. You need to go spend some time with some Audi people and then come back and do another Audi. Well, I hope I can redeem myself with this Audi video, because the last one, yeah, I got some feedback from that and I didn't do quite a good job. Maybe I might have presented it okay, but I got a couple of facts wrong. I won't point them out in this video, but yeah, those of you that know your Audis know your Audis. So yeah, maybe you can go to that video. I'll leave a link in the description. Go back to that video and see what I didn't get right in that video. And just maybe I might redo another video on an Audi A5, like a kind of a corrections video, because I got a couple of things wrong in that video. But yeah, I think I'm better prepared this time around with this Audi. The Audi I have today is an Audi A4 35 TFSi, and this is Audi's practical day-to-day sedan. So I'll be taking you through a walk around, showing you the exterior features. We go inside the car, I'll show you all the interior features, the infotainment system. I also get to take this one for a drive, so I'll let you know how that feels, the power, the handling, the comfort, all that good stuff is in this video, so stick around. We'll start at the back of the car and we'll start with the stickers. I just want to start there because when I first saw this car, I thought this was a 3.5 liter, and I actually think I saw the 4.0. Well, here I'm saying 4.0, it's the 40. So when you see stickers arranged like this, especially in front of the alphabets that tell you what engine it's got, you kind of think this is a 3.5, and when you see 40, you kind of think it's a 4.0. So I thought, what is Audi doing putting like a 4 liter in a normal TFSi? Like, what's Audi trying to do here? And I started seeing a couple of them, and then I thought, okay, is this like some crazy trend where people are just putting random stickers at the back of their cars to give it like a bigger engine displacement than it actually has? And yeah, as I did a bit more digging, yeah, I just realized those numbers have, I'd say, very little to do with engine displacement. So this is not a 3.5 liter, in case you're wondering, but we'll talk about the engine later. But for now, we'll look at the exterior, which I like. This is the basic trim, and it's nice for someone who's not looking for too much. I think that option is necessary if you're just looking for a nice looking Audi A4, which is not too aggressive. Not everyone is looking for a sporty car with side skirts here, with air vents on the bonnet and stuff like that. Sometimes you just want a simple car, you want that option, and I think this is it. I think it does the job quite well as a simple, good looking Audi. Of course, up front, this being an Audi, you get daytime running lights, which also double up as indicators. So the white light switches off and it turns into a blinker when you hit your indicators or hazards. Now, an interesting thing that you'll notice in the front here is that we have two vertical air vents on either side of the bumper, and I found that on an Audi e-tron, the purpose of these air vents are to channel air around the car into the wheel arch to provide some extra cooling for the brakes. Now, seeing that these are real vents on this entry-level body kit, I would be interested to find out if these actually serve a similar function. It'd be pretty cool if they did. This is the air vent I'm referring to. So if this actually does serve a technical feature like cooling the brakes, it'd be pretty cool to see that you find that on the entry-level A4 35 TFSi. Continuing with the theme of real things being real, you get real exhaust tips inside the exhaust surrounds. Now, the exhaust surrounds are a bit exaggerated, giving you the illusion that the exhaust tips are actually bigger than they are, but at least you get real exhaust tips inside the exaggerated exhaust surrounds. It's important to note that because there's one other German manufacturer that fakes the exhausts altogether. Mercedes. Moving swiftly along to the wheels. Now, from what I could gather, the basic car comes with 17-inch rims, also 5-spoke, in a different design to what you're seeing here. But this is the 18-inch. These are the 18-inch rims. Yo, my English is running away. These are the 18-inch rims, and I think these are gorgeous. And I don't know if it's my personal preference of slightly sportier cars saying what I'm about to say, but I think they would have been nicer if they were black, leaving the polished bits polished. But if they were black and leaving them polished, I don't know, maybe it's just me and they would have just appealed to me. But yeah, that's just how I feel. I think they could have been sportier, or maybe they do get blacked out in higher trims, more aggressive trims, as this is the base. I'm gonna pull up a data sheet here. Now this is a snippet from the Audi website, and I just had to look up this number myself because for some strange reason I remember someone telling me this was a 1.4 liter, and after driving this car I was like, there's no way this is a 1.4 liter. This is a 2-liter turbocharged engine, and it gets the job done. It doesn't just get the job done, it does a good job at it. Like, that's why I had to look the numbers up. I was like, there's no way this is a 1.4 liter. When I saw it's a 2-liter, it made a lot of sense. It's a good engine, has adequate power. In terms of consumption, Audi claims 6.1 liters per 100 kilometers. I think you're gonna struggle to get it down to that in mixed conditions. Maybe highway driving, I think you can drop it well below 6.1, but in mixed conditions with built up areas, stop and go, thumb sucking about 6.6, 6.7. 6.1 seems a bit too, yeah, too good to be true. But hey, I haven't driven it to that extent in terms of got to test it in mixed conditions. I only had this car for a couple of hours, so, but yeah, just my gut feel tells me you're gonna struggle to get it down there. As we segue into the interior of the car, I'm just gonna step out of my driving position and into the back seat just to illustrate the leg room you have in the back. It is enough. This is a standard sized 4-door saloon, and you will not struggle for leg room in the back unless if you struggle with other things that require height, like clothes, getting into walkways and stuff like that. But at 1.7 I was comfortable back here. In the back you do get some AC coming through the back from underneath the driver and passenger seat, but not through the center console. You do not have your own climate control vents back here. What you do get though is some ISOFIX for those of you with child seats, with children that still need child seats. They come with these clip-on covers that really conceal the ISOFIX really nicely when they're not in use. It's a nice design there. I don't have a problem with that. You also get a center armrest. Now, I have mentioned this in the A5 and I'll say it again here. I would have preferred it if there were like some cup holders there or a little storage area that you could open up, but it's just an armrest. You can also fold down the seats. They fold down in a 60-40 split. I think we can call it that, even though you can fold down the middle seat independently and still have 2 seats in the back. I don't know if we then call it 40-20-40, but yeah, it's a 60-40. It also comes with that clever little thing that pops up to help you keep the seat belt in place for when you want to fold the seats back. Otherwise the seat belt gets wedged between the car body and the seat, and it just makes putting the seat back a hassle. So as you can see, there's no climate control vents, just that weird storage, which I still don't know what you can put there. Like, change is gonna fall out, a cell phone can't fit there. I mean, they could have just given us some climate control back here. And you don't get USB ports back here, you get that 12-volt socket. I guess it's a kind of like a compromise. You can get one of those aftermarket car chargers and stick it in there, and then you get your USB ports to charge your devices.
Going inside the car, like properly now, we've been outside, we start with the door. It's a not so interesting door. It's not the most exciting door. It's an ordinary door with window controls, a mirror switch, boot release, and a button to lock and unlock the doors. I also don't see a bottle holder in the door bin, which is a bit of a pity. I always prefer a bottle holder, but hey, they had to make way for a speaker, so I don't know. What would you prefer? A bottle holder, like a compartment for a water bottle, or a speaker? I think I prefer the speaker. I think I listen to music more than I need a bottle holder. But anyway, yeah, that's just me and my preference. It's not a biggie for me if there's no bottle holder in the door, as long as you put some speakers there. The view from the driver's seat is very good. I can't complain too much about the pillars in this car. They don't create too much of a blind spot. View is great. No complaints about that. Your basic blind spots will be your blind spots if you're not particularly looking out for those areas. Great view, nice driving. Taking a look at the dash slash center console setup. So you have a tablet-like infotainment system which you control quite a number of things. We'll get into that later, but what I want to say for now is they've opted for a touchscreen infotainment system. So the swivel knob, which would be where that square storage area would be ordinarily, has been done away with, and they've opted for a touchscreen infotainment system, which is quite good. And you can also set it up for different driver profiles, or just use the guest as I used the guest. The materials in the center console are of good quality. I don't see anything chipping away or fading away there, as this car, I think the owner has had it for about 2 years, two and a half years. The glove compartment falls nicely, luxuriously. It's also lined with felt, so you don't hear things rattling around in there as you're driving your A4. That blank thing on the roof of the glove compartment, I saw in the A5. I called it a shuttle. I learned after that video that it's not a shuttle, it only puts in one CD. But in this car, in the A4, it has been blanked out, so there are no CDs that are going to go in anywhere here from what I could see. I hope I'm not wrong about that. I was wrong about so many things in the A5. Moving over to the steering column and the adjustments you can make. I'm gonna let the owner of the car take you through the steering column adjustments, and you'll hear the disappointment in his voice regarding the job that I did describing the steering column in the A5. Just take a listen.
What? What? Yes, yes.
So basically what he's saying there is he doesn't mind me criticizing the cars. I should just be truthful about it when I do. Look guys, I'm trying. I hope I'm doing a better job with the A4. I'm really trying. I'm not deliberately trying to mislead anyone. But anyway, as we continue with the A4, that's him demonstrating the light features in there, that they are touch sensitive, so you don't have to, he's not actually pressing them, he's just touching them. The mirror is a frameless mirror. I always appreciate a frameless mirror. I think they look so nice. It's one of the things you don't notice in a car until someone points it out to you, that this is a frameless mirror, and that's when you appreciate the beauty of a frameless mirror. The sunroof has a manually retractable sun blind, but when you open the sunroof, the sun blind moves along with the sunroof and opens it, and then when you close the sunroof, the sun blind remains in the open position. So that's manually operated sunroof, electric
no, manually operated sun blind, electric sunroof. Taking a look underneath the center console armrest, you get a little bit of storage. I'm just using my router there to give you an idea of how shallow the storage is there. You get a little bit of storage. You also get a USB-C type connection, which is nice in this car because you get both USB-C and the normal USB-C port. The normal USB-C port can be found to the left of the start button in this car, so it's quite nice that you have both of those connectors. So here's the owner again, just taking us through the navigation in this car. Yeah, he insisted on being a part of this.
I could obviously kick a touch screen. This is now. Oh, it's not updated. Yeah, I can know. But if I want to search something, go back to nav. Search. Let's say I want to search. I came back. I can literally write backing back.
Wow.
Oh, it might not find it.
B-A-K-E-N-D-E-R-G.
And I can select it. And I can start. There, that big thing in the A5, you write on top of it. Mook, you write on the screen. It's a cool feature.
That is so nice.
You know?
Do the voice thing again with the
Okay.
looking for food.
Get, I'm hungry.
Let's see.
I'm hungry.
I'm looking for a restaurant along the route. You can now say additional search terms or select a line number.
Line 2.
Should I start route guidance now?
Yes.
Replace all current destinations or add as a stopover.
Add as a stopover.
The destination will be added as a new stopover.
And whatever is there, I can shift it to be here. You know, I can have it on both sides. So you can zoom here, you zoom over.
So that was the map that is built into this infotainment system. It's quite nice. Also just a brief demo of the voice prompts that you can tell it to do via the voice prompts. You can also move the maps to your virtual cockpit so that it's almost directly in front of you, but you cannot do that with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay maps. They will only display on the infotainment system display. So just clicking through random infotainment features. Here I'm in the driving modes. Now here this is dynamic. Shows a picture of a little racetrack as if you're going to take your Audi A4 on a racetrack, but it's there in case you need to be dynamic. You also get a comfort setting. It shows a wobbly road. I think that's supposed to tell you that it will deal with any bumps in the road very effectively, and it does. I drive it in a short while. You'll see okay, you won't see that it's a comfortable drive, but it is very comfortable. It also has a couple of efficiency settings. You can make it efficient depending on how efficient you want it. You can even like set it to coast, like when you're going downhill and you're not accelerating. Like in a manual car, it will take the car out of gear and coast until you press the accelerator again. In this car you have front and back parking sensors. In the previous Audi that I showed, you didn't have front parking sensors, so here they are, front and back. There is an option to get a 360-degree camera. Well, the reverse camera, let's start there, is an optional extra. So the reverse camera is an optional extra, and then if you want to be extra, you can get a 360-degree camera with this infotainment system. You can also control your music from here. You can set your profile settings, internet connectivity. The owner told me that there's an app you can get with this infotainment system, I think. yeah, I think you can get an app with this and do certain things remotely, so you can change those settings there. You can also change how your virtual cockpit looks. You can have dials with needles like a normal car. You can make the dials smaller or make them bigger, depending on what you want to see more of. Whether you want to see more of, let's say you had a map there, you could see more of the map and less of the speed, or if you want to see more of the speed and less of the map, you can also customize those settings and tell the virtual cockpit what you want to see where. You can also make this a bit sporty, and instead of having needles and gauges, you can have those bars that move, that fill up, if I could call it that, as you rev and accelerate. I have a little personal grudge against that, because I don't know who decided that that's more sporty. I think needles, like the gauges being needles, are just as sporty. Yeah, I'm not really for the bar thingy filling up as you're accelerating. I just want to see a needle rev up and down. I think that's sporty enough. I think that's more sporty than bars. But hey, that's just my opinion about that. And finally, we out on the road. Don't have a lot to complain about in this car. It's a really good drive. Just one small complaint, and that's this car at very slow speed. So when you're like at parking speed, which is not really speed, but when you're at very low speeds and you're just trying to do that slow, delicate maneuver, the brakes are a bit jerky, so you really need to be careful, or really need to be aware that this car does get a bit jerky at very slow speeds when you're trying to like parallel park or squeeze into a really tight area. The brakes are jerky, but otherwise this is a very good drive. That 2-liter turbocharged engine delivers power to the front wheels, and I think it's the right balance. I don't think it's too much power whereby the front end is slipping all the time. I think it's just the right amount of power. It's a really comfortable ride. I also didn't get much road noise or wind noise through the windows. I didn't notice it, and I did listen for it. And the fact that I listened for it and didn't really hear it says a lot about the insulation. It's really well insulated, it's quiet, it's nimble. It doesn't feel like a bulky car. It's really nimble. It feels like a small front wheel drive car, and you get all this space, you get all this comfort, all the amenities. So yeah, this is a good car. It's just being an Audi, you might need to pay a little more to really make it nice, make it have all the bells and whistles, 360-degree cameras and stuff. But if Audi can overcome that and give us a lot more things as standard, this would be a brilliant car. This would be a serious competitor in its segment to its German rivals. And we've come to the end of the video. Thanks for watching, and see you again in the next video. I hope I did a better job this time around with the A4. Cheers guys.